Do you feel compelled to help the narcissist in your life? It's okay, you can admit it. This is a safe space. And you've got a good heart. You may also have a little bit of trauma bonding still going on too. But that's okay. We're going to walk through that and talk about the best way for you to help the narcissist in your life. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Common Ego community. My name is Christina and I am here to help you help the narcissist in your life. All right, so how do you do that? It seems like a really big, complicated task, right? Well, your role in this is actually quite simple. If you have been in a relationship with a narcissist, maybe your ex is a narcissist, maybe your husband or wife is a narcissist, you might still be in this relationship, or maybe it's a family member and you want to help this person because you love them. It's understandable. But there's only one thing you can do. One thing. That is it. If you want to help a narcissist, you must stop enabling them. That is the best way and the only way you can help them. Okay, so if you've landed here, you have been in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship, with a narcissist or maybe another cluster B type personality, an emotionally abusive person, but you know that this person has a disorder and that's why you want to help. Maybe you went through a period of anger, that's always natural, and then you start learning about it, you start understanding the disorder itself, and you feel compelled to help them out of it. But the problem with that is part of the disorder is that they don't want out. So it's not as simple as just directing them towards help. Really, what you have to look at if you want to make a difference, you have to look at how you can change your behavior. So what have you been doing up until now? If this person is still in your life, you have been enabling them, most likely. You have been a source of supply for them. And the hard truth we have to understand is that people with narcissistic personality disorder do not love the same way you and I do. They're not capable of it. So you are providing love to them and they are taking it. That is their supply. It's really a combination of things that you're giving them, and it could be different depending on the situation, but love, affection, admiration, maybe even drama. You're giving them supply. You are validating their belief that they are in some way special. And the only way you can help them is by taking away their supply. Now, this may sound familiar. This starts to sound a lot like dealing with somebody who has a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction. One of the first things that people will tell you is to avoid enabling that person. So if, let's say you had a child who had a drug addiction problem, or even a spouse, would you allow them in your home and give them the drug that they seek? Provide it for them? You wouldn't. That would be crazy. But it's a very similar situation with a narcissist. It's not the same, but it helps to look at it in this way. Because if you are there providing them with supply, they have no reason to change. They have no reason to see that the way they're behaving is wrong, because they're getting what they want and it's making them feel good for the moment. So as long as you're making them feel good, it's kind of like they're getting their high and they're not going to change. I know most of you already know a thing or two about narcissistic personality disorder, and I know what you're thinking. Well, okay, so I take away the supply, they're gonna go get it somewhere else. And that's true. It's true. In most cases, people with this disorder, they don't want help. And whether you enable them or not, they're probably not going to get help. But you can bet for certain while you're enabling them, they're not going to get help. So there's a possibility that they might reach a low if they can't get supply, and they might get help. There's also a possibility that that not getting supply might drive them further into their disorder. But no matter what, giving them supply is keeping them exactly where they are. And if you want to help them, you cannot do that. You have to stop. So now I want to take a minute to talk to the person who might still have a little bit of a trauma bond going on. So you will know whether this is you or not if just by looking at your motivation. Do you want to help this person for the greater good of humanity? Do you want to help this person because you love them and you want to see them move on and be happy eventually while you move on and get on with your life? Or do you want to help this person because you want to have a future with them that does not involve emotional abuse? So if it's the last one, then there's a good chance you're still dealing with some trauma bonds. And this is all the more reason to stop enabling, because you need to heal yourself at this point. So now we need to walk away, distance ourselves, go no contact or gray rock, and start healing ourselves. And in doing that, you give the narcissist opportunity to heal themselves. Because when it comes down to it, whether they choose to or not, whether they want to or not, we all are responsible for our own lot in life, right? We're responsible for our own emotional health and well-being. We are responsible for the way we treat other people. We're responsible for all these things because that's the only thing we can control is ourselves. We can only control our own behavior. So it's easy to see that for you, right? Even though you want to help somebody else, you can understand that you can't change somebody else. But think of the narcissist in these terms also. This is, yes, they have a disorder, but it is up to them to change. No one can do it for them. And again, going back to the drug addiction. So if somebody is addicted to drugs, they have to make the choice to change. You can't change for them. You can't force them to change. It won't work. Studies have shown that when people are forced into rehab and treatment programs, it's much less likely to be effective than if they choose to go in themselves. So that just goes to show you can't force someone to do something they don't want to do. So if this is hitting home for you, if you're feeling like you're still trauma bonded, I have a video on what to do after the final discard, and it doesn't matter how long it's been. That video can be very helpful for you if this person is still in your life or strongly on your mind. So I highly suggest you watch that. That's going to pop up right here in a second. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like you could get through to the narcissist in your life? And if you have, do you feel like the narcissist was being genuine with you? Now there are times when people seek treatment and get help. But again, it has to be their choice. They have to do it themselves. In most cases, it's very difficult for us on the outside to see whether someone, especially someone who is so good at deceiving, is really being honest with us or not. So again, we have to go back and focus within, focus on ourselves, and stop enabling the narcissist. Okay, so that's all I have to say for now. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post new videos. See you next time.